Hook asterisk. My ex disappeared without a word, then came back the exact moment I was finally happy. He said he had made the biggest mistake of his life and begged for one more chance. What he didn't know was that everything had changed, and this time, I wasn't the one who was going to cry.
The message popped up on my phone at exactly 11:47 p.m. Hey. I know it's been a long time. Can we talk? I froze. Out of all the people I expected to hear from that night, my ex was the last one. For a moment, I just stared at the screen. My heart raced, and memories I had buried years ago came rushing back. 3 years earlier, I would have replied instantly. Back then, I loved him with everything I had. I believed we were building a future together. I imagined vacations, birthdays, holidays, even growing old side by side. But while I was planning forever, he was already planning his exit. At first, the changes were small. He stopped calling every night. His texts became shorter. He always seemed busy. Whenever I asked if something was wrong, he'd smile and tell me I was overthinking. So I believed him. I ignored every red flag because I loved him. Until one afternoon, he looked me in the eyes and said something I'll never forget. I think we should end this. Just like that. No fight. No warning. No explanation. One sentence destroyed everything we'd spent years building. I begged him to tell me why. He simply said, "I've changed." Then he walked away. For months, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't pretty enough. Maybe I loved him too much. Maybe if I'd been more patient, he would have stayed. Every morning felt heavy. Every place reminded me of him. Even hearing our favorite song in a grocery store was enough to make me cry. My friends kept telling me time would heal everything. I didn't believe them. But little by little, they were right. I started going to the gym. I accepted a better job. I traveled for the first time by myself. I laughed again. Not because I forgot him, but because I finally remembered who I was before him. That's when I met Ethan. He wasn't flashy. He didn't make grand promises. Instead, he showed up. Every single time. If he said he'd call, he called. If he said we'd have dinner, he was already waiting outside 5 minutes early. He made me realize something I had never understood before. Real love isn't confusing. It doesn't leave you wondering where you stand. It feels safe. For the first time in years, I felt at peace. I wasn't searching for happiness anymore. I was living it. And somehow, that's exactly when my past came knocking. Another notification appeared. I made the biggest mistake of my life. It was him. Again. He asked if we could meet for coffee. Part of me wanted to ignore him forever. Another part of me wanted answers I'd waited years to hear. So I agreed. When I walked into the cafe, he stood up immediately. He looked older. More tired. Less confident than the man who had left me without looking back. For a few moments, neither of us spoke. Finally, he sighed. "I'm sorry. I thought I could find someone better. I thought I'd always have you if things didn't work out. They didn't. I was wrong." Hearing those words felt strange. 3 years ago, they would have meant everything. Now, they meant almost nothing. He looked at me and whispered, "I never stopped thinking about you. I still love you. I want another chance." I smiled. Not because I believed him. Because I realized something. The girl sitting across from him wasn't the same girl he'd left behind. She no longer needed his apology to move on. "I forgive you," I said quietly. His face lit up. "But forgiveness doesn't mean we belong together." His smile disappeared. I've built a beautiful life. I finally know my worth. And I'm not willing to lose that just to relive the past. He lowered his head. I guess I was too late. I nodded. Yes. You were. I stood up, wished him well, and walked toward the cafe door. As soon as I stepped outside, I saw Ethan leaning against his car, holding my favorite coffee and smiling the way he always did. How did it go? He asked. I smiled back. It gave me the closure I didn't know I needed. He took my hand. We walked away together without looking back. As we disappeared into the crowd, I realized something important. Sometimes your ex comes back. Not because you're meant to be together, but because life wants to show you how much you've grown. And the greatest revenge isn't making them regret losing you. It's building a life so happy that going back never even crosses your mind.